What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are on the Hunter Classic. Once again, we are doing the Whitetail guide for Red Feather Falls. It was the most popular voted map out of the selection for this species, and as you can see right now, I've only upgraded the scope on my 243 bolt action for our starting rifle. It is the 10x42 rifle scope. It has two different varies of zooms to it. You have obviously the default zoom, and then you have the second zoom, and then the third zoom, which you can see a good amount with this rifle. And I like this scope in particularly because it's going to go on the next upgraded rifle we get, which is going to be the 300 bolt action rifle. So you won't have to go out and buy an entirely new scope for it. And anyways, in this guide, I'm going to be going over the similarities and the differences between the whitetail group and the mule deer, and what makes them so different to hunt versus the mule deer. But for starters, this is going to be the first tent location here on Red Feather Falls. So I'm going to display the coordinates on the map right now. We are just southwest of the starting lodge down here. And pretty much the route we're going to take is, I like to start here at this tree stand because, one, you don't have to spend any money for it. It's an in-game stand. So always want to take advantage of these if you're on their map. And so I like to sit here for probably about, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes is a good time to sit at the stand. And so after this, you pretty much, what you want to do is just pretty much island skip. You kind of just want to skip around these islands here all the way up until about right here-ish. Because then it's going to cut into like blacktail and then like black bear up here. So basically what I like to do once I get like up here where this huge like plateau is I kind of loop back a little bit and I'll end about right here, because this coast right here has really good whitetail deer on it as well. You'll sometimes find them on this coast, but like I said, once you go any further north, you're pretty much hitting into like blacktail, and black bear, area. You'll always find moose up in here too. Like, that's one species on this map you'll find pretty much all over the place on this western portion. But yeah, for starters, we're going to hop up here in this stand, and I'm going to do a little bit of explaining on, like I said, the similarities and differences between the whitetail and the mule deer, because they are very different animals to hunt. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so for the starting tip I can give you guys for whitetail is, don't be discouraged, okay? Because it's a lot different hunting whitetail than it is mule deer. And I say that because the mule deer, you can find them in groups of like anywhere from 3 to 5, of bucks traveling together. Well, with the whitetail, that's not going to be the case. They're pretty much going to be solitary animals for the most part. You'll never find 2 bucks traveling together at all, unless they're just, in the area and they come to your call at the same time. But they're not going to roam around together. And also the ratio for bucks to does is a lot different. So with the ratio for bucks and does, it's 3 to 1. So you're going to find more does than you are bucks. So that's probably going to be discouraging sometimes if you hunt an area or you just get a really bad spawn. You're going to be like, oh man, where are the white-tailed bucks at? I'm not seeing any. And it's going to get you a little frustrated because, we all want those 200 plus white-tailed deer or those huge non-typical bucks. But that's just not the case with these guys. These guys are not a very herdic animal on this game, which doesn't make sense in my opinion, because in real life they are. And it looks like we do have a buck out there a little ways. He's got a 120 to 165 estimate. Not very huge. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a grunt call to get him headed this direction while I continue talking. But anyways, so yeah, as you can see, I got 3 whitetail deer here just around this starting stand. Also, I got a moose cow right over there. But this area here is really, really good. I've shot countless number of I've shot countless big bucks here, like 170 plus bucks here. And I've shot one of my second biggest non-typicals here as well, out of this tree stand. Like, it was like right here in this little open field area here. And so, actually it's funny because I believe I did a guide on this in 2020 as well. So, I mean, it's outdated, but that's why I'm upgrading all these guides for 2023, because they need a refresher. But still going to be the primary spot for whitetail deer on this map. Now, I know the tent's fairly close to the starting lodge. You guys can walk from the starting lodge to this tower. It is, like, not very far at all. It's, like, less than 500 meters, I think, last time I checked. But what I like to do normally is I like to start here at the lodge and then fast travel to this tent. But that's just me. I like to fast travel and get that extra, you know, initial spawn around the area, so I don't have to sit here and wait. But if you guys do decide to walk, then most of the animals will already be over here, because it is like beyond 150 meters from the lodge. So let's go ahead and call this guy again. We have our first whitetail buck here walking up to the tree stand. He's not a very big buck, 25 to 65 score estimate. We're going to go ahead and shoot him with the snake bite. And just like that, he is down. I'm going to go ahead and reload my quiver real fast. And hop down and collect him, because I believe I have another buck that's on its way over here. Caught a glimpse of him coming through the trees. So I'm going to hop back in the stand and wait for this guy to show up. He weighed 64.1 and he scores 57. So very, very small buck. But nonetheless, our first buck from this tree stand. We're going to go ahead and hop back up here for a little bit and see if this buck's going to show up. Alright guys, so I was waiting for this buck to show up, and this ain't even the buck that I'm actually sitting here waiting for. The buck I'm looking for is coming from that direction. And so this guy is coming in from my right. Not a very big buck, once again, but this will be buck number 2. Probably out of the 3. For this stand, he's got an 85 to 130 score estimate with a deduction on his mainframe. And if you guys can see really closely, you can actually see it. It is that tine right there. That is the deduction that I'm talking about. So I'm going to let him get a little bit closer. And I'm not a huge fan of this angle for the bow. I'm basically going to have to try to go for a long spine shot here. And if I don't get it, there's a good chance he may run off just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little grunt call just to make sure this buck over here stays on course. And this guy should start walking. And he should stop just about at that dull spot right there. So I'll go ahead and see if I can pull this shot off here. And we do make a drop shot. That is exactly what I wanted. And this other buck should just be about to us. Yep, it looks like I just got the audio call from him. He's got to be right behind my tent somewhere. Oh, there he is, right there. Looks like we got a little bit better improvement here. Let's see what the score is. We got 110 to 150. So, but it looks like he doesn't have a deduction. So these bucks here are pretty average. These are pretty much the bucks you're going to see. Anything over 160s, I would say, would be screenshot worthy. If you get one over 180, definitely taxidermy it, I would say. Then your next major goal is going to be 200. But anything 180 below, I wouldn't bother taxidermizing. But I would definitely take a screenshot, like I said. Anything over 165, I would say, is a decent trophy. So hopefully he stops about that stump. I'm going to try to get a spine shot on him. And there he goes. Just do a quick look, double take here, and I don't think anything else is coming. So we're going to pick up these 2 bucks here. And then I will head to the second tent location where we're going to drop our second tent at. So here's the first buck we got. And he weighs 70.2 and he scores 123. So This one is probably going to score a little bit less than that one, considering the deduction this one's got. Let's go ahead and pick this guy up, and he weighs 85.6, and he scores 115. So almost 10 points less. I'm gonna make sure I got the tent. Do I have the tent in my? I do not. Okay, cool. I'm glad I checked. I didn't want to get there and not have my tent. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tent out of this tent. Yeah, that's right. A tent from my tent. Okay, so I'm gonna start heading in that direction. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk pretty much this edge right here until I get to my tent location. Alright guys, I've actually got here to the second location where I'm going to put our second tent down, and there is actually another whitetail buck over here to our left, probably about 80 to 100 meters I would say. We're going to go ahead and take him with the rifle. I'm going to try to sneak a lung shot in there. Should be able to from this distance. And he should not go far at all from that. And here are the coordinates for said tent. It is negative 12767 for the x-axis, and y is going to be negative 2242 is going to be that. So, and like I said, if you guys want to put a tree stand here, this would be the tent you'd want to put a tree stand in, because basically these islands are really good for like crossing animals. So like animals that are up here will either eventually travel this direction, or they're eventually going to come down this direction. So, oh, I needed to pick up that track, but I'll go ahead and grab this one here. I still missed that one. We're going to go ahead and pick up this guy, and then we are going to head north just a little bit more. Probably going to end the hunt somewhere up here. Hopefully we find some more whitetail bucks, because that is what we are after. So that one there makes, I believe, number 5 of the hunt so far, and we're not even done yet. So hopefully we could find some more bucks. As you can see on the hunter's mate, I've actually been tracking this guy quite a distance, and I'm going to try to pick up his track one more time here. And it's 28 minutes long. So, hoping this buck here stops and gives me a shot. And I'm hoping he spooks off in the opposite direction to my left if I don't drop shot him. But we do drop shot him, so that's amazing. Pick him up. And he's definitely not going to be our buck. I just need him to take 2 more steps, and there he goes. He should stop. He should see me here in a second. Hopefully he doesn't stop behind that tree. And we got another drop shot. Absolutely perfect. We're going to go ahead and reload the quiver. We're going to have to use regular arrows now. It looks like that is a buck coming, indeed. Definitely not a huge buck by any means. Probably going to be the smallest buck we're going to shoot so far. I'm going to go ahead and take him with the 243, I think, because it should be well within the kill distance for this rifle. I'm going to put it right behind the shoulder a little bit. It should be a really good shot. He should go down here in a second. And he is indeed already down. So we're going to go ahead and pick up these 2 guys. This was the 75 to 100 kilo buck, I would assume. 79.4, and we got a 126. Alright guys, so here's our big male buck here. What an absolute giant we got. Gonna go and pick him up here. 64.1 and 54. That is definitely gonna be the smallest one we've shot so far. Alrighty guys, I decided to come back to the starting tent here to kind of just do a recap of today's guide. And I was sitting here for a little bit, and I shot this whitetail doe here, and then this guy showed up, but this ain't the surprise I got. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot on him real quick, and drop him on the spot. Oh, but no, this is what I gotta show you guys. this guy right here. That is an absolute giant. 145 to 190. He's almost got a 200 score estimate. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if he's ever bit 180. Like, that is an absolutely massive whitetail buck right there. And that is what we are actually after right there. Alright, let's go ahead and put a shot in this guy. Just like that, he is smoked. Smoked with 243. Let's go ahead and jump down and grab these two guys real quick. Or guy and gal, should I say. He weighed 87.5 and he scored 108. We gotta wait for his body to kind of disappear before we pick up the doe. Let's go and pick her up. And yeah, this is a really good buck to close down on. This is actually what I was hoping for early on, but this makes it even better. He's really wide, so I think he's going to be, starting to look at him now, I think he's going to be should be at least 170 buck. Wait, 84.8, and he's 176, almost a 180s buck, and that's exactly what cost him the 180 spot. I guarantee was that the fact that his tine right there on the end is shorter than that one on this side. So, and if his brow tines were a little bit longer, he definitely would have made 200. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. And also, the channel is almost to 1,000 subscribers. Huge milestone for us, and I am so grateful. The next species is going to be black-tailed deer. So we got two maps we can choose from, White Heart Island, or also we can do Red Feather Falls. I do have an old blacktail guide for Red Feather Falls I can kind of freshen up on, and it is a pretty good hot spot. I have to say, I've shot some very massive black-tailed deer up there in my time. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and have a nice day.